everybody. So I am doing my mod for Mims right now. I saw he just went live, and so I'm gonna hop in there and do his mod while I let these eye gel things sit, and then we're gonna talk because a lot of the people that follow me follow Mims too, and taking this off. I was doing a lot of crying since my bird died on the 11th, 3 days ago. And so my eyes were still kind of puffy. So I decided to do these illuminating diamond dust spa life mask. They were only $2.99 at Ross. Ross, you know that little section at Ross that has like right beyond the purses, and it has all kind of awesome stuff over there? Yeah. So they have that little section at Ross. They have it at Didi's. They have it at what's the other? Burlington. They have it at Marshall's. They have it at all those little stores. Have right beyond the purses that section that has lotions and potions and salves and things like that. So yeah, so I decided to do that. I might need these glasses. So big. Yeah, like I said, I'm modding for Mims right now, telling the people to like his stuff. Make sure you smash my like button, smash my subscribe button on your way in, and ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload a video. Also, as you can see, Mama did a nice hard set yesterday. I did a tutorial on my TikTok because I finally got my live status back. I was so excited. So I used it to do a tutorial. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so wasn't that crazy? The freaking Simply TV. I love Ross, Didi's, TJ Maxx, Burlington. Yes, those are my stores. And don't you love that section that has all the little lotions and stuff? Look, this was only $2.99 in that little section, and they're so cooling. I've been wanting something cool on my eyes. Like I said, I was crying the other day because my freaking bird died. I already have hyperpigmentation right here, but my bird died, and I think that's why it was so puffier than usual. So I'm just gonna put those mask things right there. And then I wasn't gonna put makeup on at freaking 7 o'clock in the morning, but I didn't take my makeup off last night, and I was either put more on or take it off. I was like, go ahead and put it on. Isn't that a good deal, Simply? How are you doing? How did you feel about what happened yesterday? The pow pow. You know, all I know is that wag the dog. That's all I can say. Like, so yeah, I'm just doing this, like I said. No, not thumbs down. Like, share. What's a good emoji for share? I'm gonna do the hand for share. Like, share, subscribe. YouTube. Oh, it doesn't have a thing. Subscribe. Subscribe. Yeah. That was crazy. Honestly, I felt it was totally staged. I can't, you don't have like a thing on your thing, but I'm just saying, look, I'm just wondering because what I was telling my husband is I was like, I'm pretty sure that nobody believed nothing they saw yesterday. Not one believed what they saw. That's all I'm saying. We were like, something. Yeah. And then come to find out that the people were telling the police and the Secret Service were alerting them for 2 to 3 minutes that old boy was on the roof with the pow pow, and they did nothing. They did nothing, and that suggests to me that you wanted it to happen. If you get reports that somebody has a pow pow on a roof from a position like that, and you don't even go check, and you don't do no firing until you supposedly return fire, and all the firing sounds exactly the same. That's all I'm saying. I'm really sad that those people had to be casualties of whatever this is. But yeah, I grew up on Wag the Dog, you guys. Wag the Dog. Yeah. There. Yeah, Wag the Dog. Smack to you. Hi. How are you? Oh, one fly lady sparkle. Right on. Thanks. I know it was a play. Call it out, mama. I love you pretty. Oh, right on. We're doing a rod curl because I need to take some professional headshots for my business card. And I wanted my hair curly for it. And pandemic, you remember pre-pandemic prices, things were kind of reasonable. I mean, it was high, but it was a little reasonable. You like could stretch a dollar. Remember that? And now these post-pandemic prices where everything's like 7 times higher, 5 times higher, and the bag is smaller. Well, yeah, as it turns out, that translated over to the beauticians too. They like, we getting in on this. So now not only have they separated out my services and double charged on that. So like if I want my hair shampooed, it's $60 instead of $25 because of product. But the product is, yeah. So I'm like, the cows are eating the same grass. Why am I paying more for beef? I don't understand. But yeah. Um anyway. Woo-woo. So I was gonna go to the loctician like I used to do. But with everything quadruple prices, to get a good rod retwist on locks that are arm length, it was gonna cost mama $400, and we could like use that someplace else right now. Getting my nails done to go get a mani pedi right now is at least $125. It used to be 25 plus 25 tops. That was with a tip. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Yep, exactly. Yes. Salute Simply B. Yes. Did I miss somebody? I'm sorry. Miss Gigi's in the house. Thanks. The raises mini eyebrows. Supposedly the SS is always on their game. What happened yesterday? Serious side eye. I'm telling you, not many of us believed it. Not many of us believed it because the first thing I said, and my friend said I was being really insensitive, um, was I was like, somebody who goes through all that trouble, I don't think they would have necessarily missed, especially when they had a 3-minute window with no interference from the police and Secret Service who knew that the person was present. Keto coffee this morning. So yeah, let me see. Can I leave a comment? Can I don't know how to do that. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-mm. It's going to take a lot more than that. Especially, look, he has 34 counts, 34 counts. And they're like, oh, nothing to see here, folks. When the Uvalde thing happened, wasn't he the POTUS at the time Uvalde happened? And he never really cares when pow pow stuff happens. It's always Second Amendment right this, Second Amendment right that. What about old boy Second Amendment rights? I don't know. But my biggest question is, why did the Secret Service and the police on scene, were they all from Uvalde, where they just stand around while the pow pows are like in the place and they know it's happening and they're just standing around, not even letting parents into the building? Like, I mean, like, what is going on, really? So you either wanted it to happen and you knew it was going to happen and you wanted it to all play out the way it needed to play out, or something else. But according to what happened is all we get to go by. I mean, what happened is what happened. What happened? What happened? Witnesses say that for 2 to 3 minutes, they alerted all the authorities in the area that were there to protect 45 that there was somebody on a roof in fatigues with a pow pow in a nice position, and they did nothing. And then after the person supposedly did what they did, that's when all of a sudden they're pow powing in that direction. And then the way he fell, like, I don't know why it would have taken his ears so long to reveal red. And then the way the red was streaked, I'm like, is that high fructose corn syrup? I don't know. It was really bright on that orange. I'm not sure. And why didn't the orange streak more? I'm not sure. I'm just having, yeah, yeah. I just would need more. I don't even need it because I don't really care. The only reason I care is because they're trying to incite something else with these actions. That's why I care. Because you knew old boy was up there, you let it happen, and now the first thing the people are saying is that it's 46's fault and that the people that like 46 are to blame because supposedly 46 3 days ago was like, uh, let's put a target on him or something, he said. And I'm like, how is that something? Oh, and then they're like, because Sarah Palin got in trouble for saying put a target on somebody's back, but she was really like, let's go get that person and target them. Like, I'm not sure if Biden even knew what. I'm not sure Biden even meant to use target in the sentence that he used it in, seeing as how he just called Kamala Trump and called Zelensky Putin and said that he banged Melania. I mean, we're already all of the same agreement that we're going to have to collectively call APS at this point. Somebody's going to have to call on Joe. So did he really say it like that to put a target on somebody? And if he did, was anybody really taking him seriously? I mean, he called the Ukrainian president Putin, you guys. So are we taking him serious or are we not? Or are we just taking something serious and we're cherry picking? Oh, I get it. We're cherry picking. We're cherry picking. I'm not taking nothing that fool saying for nothing. Cardi B has a good idea. Me and my friend were talking. And voting in your local elections during midterms is fantastic to participate in for your daily living in your community. That's where you get your DAs. That's who persecute certain communities harder than others. That's where you get your sheriffs who allow their ossifers to go after certain communities more than others. That's where you get your little judges for your community. Yep, that give certain people longer sentences in your community than others. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So there's a way to help your and vote in your best interest without the impact of that electoral college thing that makes your vote not count for the general election, right? Well, it's not like your vote doesn't count, but it's still up to the electoral college, right? So if they're still going to decide, and then there's this whole thing about the popular vote and the Hillary had more votes but lost. I'm not sure what the electoral college did in that case. She wasn't president though. I don't know. So do your own research, but where you can vote in your best interest is where you should vote in your best interest, right? Yeah. And also, I feel like I'm in agreement. We should have more age limits. I'm with it. Be an ageist. Be an ageist. Because what's happening right now, shuffling onto stages, looking like you're pooping in your pants. I mean, I've heard of mumble rapping, but mumble president speaking, nobody wants it. There is not a genre for mumble president speak. There's not a genre for it. So, yeah. Let me keep on telling the people to like this video in Mim's chat because I'm doing two things at once. But I'm about to leave over there. I was just coming in for a minute. Help get his... No, not the down. So what are you guys thinking? Like, what are your guys' thoughts about all this? Let's see what your guys' comments are saying. Okay. Oh, Mademoiselle's in the house. Hey, can I go down like this? Today is too high for no dang. Yep. Today is too high for no dang reason. It's like they are applying the pressure to our cerebral cortex, to our freaking hypothalamus area. Like they really want us encumbered. Okay. They really need us to be... It's a form of intoxication, but it's stress intoxication. Like we're all on this overload of stress intoxication. We're hearing about places that aren't here constantly, and we're having to absorb that negative energy. And then knowing that shit is paid for with our tax dollars is like we're having to be like, find a place to be okay with that if you're okay with it. And then here in our home, like in our home country, seeing everything not be taken care of at home, but like we're running around like we're Captain Save-A-Ho around the world, and our hoes here need attention. Our hoes here need attention. Okay? So if you're going to be Captain Save-A-Ho, save the hoes in America first, okay? And I keep talking about this reparations, how you sending all my reparations over to places that didn't do nothing for here. I mean, it's in the books that you're trying to currently rewrite that slavery happened and it made the free labor was the reason that we were number one for so long, because they didn't have to pay nobody. It was all profit. It was all profit. And they're arguing with us still in 2024. It's been over 450 years since that shit happened. Over 450 years since that shit happened. And they're still arguing with us, telling us we don't deserve shit. We need to just be happy. Da 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 da. But they never happy. Are they ever happy? No. Constantly colonizing. Constantly. Trying to colonize my mind. Trying to colonize my mind while I'm decolonizing my mind. That's part of why I took my weave out. I'm going to show you guys some pictures. Where are my pictures at? I have some pictures of when I used to have my silky straight in. I would wear number 27 was my go-to. Number 33, 1B. I would mix them all together, and I would do all the weaves. I would do interlocks. I would do all that stuff. And then I was telling the people yesterday in my tutorial on how to retwist and rod curl your locks. I was telling the people that it was by chance that I started my lock journey. It was because the freaking, oh, look, Chanel's talking. It was by chance that happened, because I was, I had an accident where I did a perm, I did a dye, I bleached my hair, and then I put in extensions with like this gold bond glue that ended up being like rubber cement. And I woke up the next day and I had scabs everywhere. My whole head was like a scab. And everywhere the scab finally crusted over and healed, my hair broke off. And then I ended up bald-headed, you guys. I reminded myself of that lady, and I'm going to get you sucker, that looks so fine in the club. And she gets back to her room, and she takes off her wig, and she has one thing of hair, and then she pops off her leg, and she pops off her butt. Build a hoe. Yeah, right. But like that hair, those wisps of hair is really what I felt like. So thank God they had some wigs, and I had to wear a wig for like a month because I didn't have, like, I had to let it all go. And then it came back and it was so fine. And then I finally did, remember S curls and Jerry curls, you guys? I don't know how old you guys are, but they used to have Jerry curls and S curls. And a S curl wasn't a full-on Jerry curl. It was just to like make your hair wavy, and a Jerry curl would make your hair like, full, like this kind of curl, like you had to put the stuff in it. But in an S curl, you didn't need rollers or anything. Like you just would put this stuff on your hair, and it was almost like a perm, but perms made it too straight. So an S curl would just kind of knock out the tightness of your C4 curl and give you like a good hair looking curl, right? It's all good hair. So I had to do that. And then when my hair finally got long enough, oh, and you guys, all this happened while I was dating my now husband. Me and my husband just had our anniversary on 7/7/7/7. We had our 28th anniversary on 7/7/7/7. And yeah, 28th anniversary together. So yeah. I don't know. Does that make me a relationship expert? Yeah, I think it does. I think it does. I think I might start calling myself a relationship expert. um, but so he was with me at the time, and I'm all just rocking wigs, trying to make the best out of a bad situation. And he told me later, he said he was thinking, poor thing. What did she do now? Poor thing. And he just didn't say anything. I'm sitting there with my synthetic ombre wigs, thinking I'm fly, and he was thinking, poor thing. But then he loved me through it. He loved me through it. Yes. It was hilarious. So, yeah. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, let's get to this. Demonic Trump brought this to himself. That's what I said too, Mademoiselle. And they was on me. They was like, oh my God, people lost their lives. I was like, and they still lost them because of him. Poor people died. Bless their souls, bless their hearts. And it happened because of Trump. It happened because of Trump. They're just trying to distract everyone from discussing Project 2025. They're already enacting the things from Project 2025, you guys. It's already happening. They're talking about, oh, it's just agenda my ass, because they're already taking steps in all the chapters to make all that shit come true. So they can try to tell me it's an agenda. We don't have nothing to worry about, that they still need to vote on the shit. The shit's getting voted on. And that's why we were saying again, like Simply V, bottom line is go vote, because if you go vote in at least your midterms, your local elections is where they be slipping those judges in who are backdooring all of this shit. Your local elections is where they be slipping these DAs in who are going to work their way up to VP one day. Yeah. So do your part. If you don't feel like voting for two devils, at least go vote for your DA. Okay? At least go vote for your mayor. Okay? All those little positions add up to your rights. Yes, they're trying to distract us from Project 2025. There are so many issues. The electoral vote, DeJoy is still in the post office, and now imagine that makes Trump look invincible. Yeah, I can't believe that they left DeJoy there. Why would this administration would have left DeJoy in that position? Yes, stressed. It just makes you sick. Yeah, which is what they want. Exactly, because then they have a reason to get their pharmaceuticals in, you guys, and that's a whole other thing, right? Because you take a pill for this and they tell you on the commercial the side effects is the freaking OSHA poster. You guys know what OSHA is, right? When you're at work, or for those of you who used to go to an office and work, and you would go to the break room, any place where the employer, or the place where you clock in and clock out, any place where a lot of employees go, they needed to put the posters up about all the different rules, and it would always say what the current minimum wage was right in the middle. And you would think to yourself, people live off that shit? Remember those posters? That's how many side effects this shit has, from the stress that they induce on us by raising these prices and giving us devils to choose from. Like, this is all to fuck with our hypothalamus. What are your thoughts? All profit for them to pass down. They say Generation X and their generations are passing down trillions while Black people are living in poverty. No love for America. That's what I'm saying. They are. There's trillions of dollars right now being passed down. That's part of why I got into financial services, is because there's trillions of dollars being passed down right now. And because our people specifically were left out of the loop, a way into the loop is not only to participate in financial services as a freaking employee, as my own boss, but also to participate in the products that we market, that they use to pass down generational wealth and freaking tax-free millions to your loved ones, while Black people are sitting in probate court and becoming homeless because they didn't think to put their shit in a trust. And then the state catches them up for 6 months to 2 years and longer. Ask the Jacksons. Michael Jackson's kids right now have not got any money that he left them because they have decided to put his trust in probate, a form of probate. And it's not supposed to be possible, really. But somehow they got in there and decided something was undervalued. So one way to participate is in the trillions is to become a financial services Professional, millions in commissions, millions. Easy. If you hustle, easy. There are people in my industry making $1 million a cycle. Okay. Yeah, they hustle good. They hustle good and they hustle hard for years. That's how you get to $1 million a cycle. A cycle is like every Tuesday, every Friday, you guys. Okay. And it's all because insurance and those types of products, annuities, indexed accounts, specifically indexed accounts is what you want. The compound interest and all that stuff, that's what they've been using. And those same tax codes. Did you know that your 401k, if you have a 401k at work, did you know that that's just a tax code? Did you know that that's a literal, if you look in the IRS book and you get to page 401 and you get to 401k, it's a tax code. 403b is a tax code. Okay. So they utilize tax codes to keep corporations rich. And every time your boss and your company contributes to your 401k, you think, oh my God, they love me. Oh my God. I'm feeling so much love. Oh my God. They don't love you. They get incentives. Not only do they get tax breaks now, but they get like freaking incentives, lots of incentives to help you pay their taxes later because they contribute to your 401k. And then when you go to use your 401k, the money that you contributed that didn't get taxed is now going to get taxed with the money that they contributed. Oh, isn't that nice? Didn't they do you a big favor? Wasn't that so nice of them to think of you like that? Oh my God, they're so nice. And you might get a watch. Oh my God. And all it took was 40 hours a week for 40 years and a 40% tax break. Oh my God. They're like running rickshaw over you. If you learn your tax codes, and you'll understand that all of this stuff, they're not giving you nothing. The 401k is only to benefit them. Only put in what the employment people put in. That's all you put in a 401k. Because remember, you're going to get taxed on what they put and what you put when you're 59 and a half or when you go to take that shit out. So are your taxes going to be higher at 59 and a half or lower at 59 and a half? Let's think. So chances are, while you're contributing to your 401k, you may have a family, so you have dependents, so you have deductions. You may have a mortgage, so you have that as a deduction in the mortgage insurance, interest and everything. But when you're 59 and a half, chances are you probably paid off your house, so you don't have that write-off anymore. And your dependents are grown, so you don't have that write-off anymore. And so when you go to retrieve the money that they put and you put, it's going to be taxed without any of those deductions that you had when you were stacking that money. Do you understand what I'm saying? Ticking time bomb. Why do you think so many people end up greeting you at freaking safe at the Walmart? They're supposed to be retired. Oh, and did you know? Did you know? What we're talking about, what they got, what you don't got. Did you know that if you start taking out a pension from your job, let's say you did have a nice 401k or 403b or whatever, or your TSA account, your Spiff account, I'm saying it, blah, blah, blah. All of those things, they affect your Social Security. So all the money that you're putting away for Social Security right now, and you're thinking, oh, I'll be able to live off of what I'm going to get for Social Security and live off of my little retirement thing if you've been funding that for yourself. No. It's like they have this threshold that if you are going to utilize your Social Security money, there's a threshold that they want you to abide in. That if you go over that threshold, because let's say you're $32,000 of Social Security, they will tax 80% of the $32,000 while you're a senior. Do your own math. I got flyers. I got things I can show you. I can show you in another thing. I'll have to go on my StreamYard so I can really share the screen and everything, because you guys are on my phone and Mims is on my computer right now. But I can show you where when you get to their threshold, because they want to keep you in a certain place, when you get to that threshold, they're like, oh, you know what we're going to do? We'll let them have their $32,000 or whatever it is in Social Security, but we're going to tax that shit. We're going to tax it heavily. 80% tax on your Social Security portion. While meanwhile, the tax codes that I was telling you that they've been using for years, where they can pass stuff down tax-free for generations, tax-free generational wealth passed down, unencumbered by probate and shit like that. They use tax codes that are tied to life insurance. Only tied to life insurance. So now we got the whole community of us being like, oh, that's like life insurance, because there are predators of life insurance also that would come and not tell you all the different things that you could have for life insurance. And then they would be like, oh, we're not going to pay for this. We're not going to pay for that. And so there have been a lot of bad experiences in certain communities with life insurance. And I feel like that was by design. I actually, now that I'm in that field, I feel like that might have been by design, because you put people off, and then they won't want to see what the real product is that would have made them have generational wealth that nobody can with. Right? They didn't stay long enough for that part of the meeting, because you showed them some messed up stuff, or you sold them some messed up stuff, right? But there's what they call, it's not even new life insurance. This shit has been around since 1913, you guys. 1913. Carnegie, JP Morgan Chase, and Dale Carnegie, JP Morgan Chase, and Rothschild Rockefeller went to the freaking Congress in 1913 and came up with this thing called indexed accounts, got it into the tax codes. So now if you use indexed accounts, you can grow your money to millions and not have to pay taxes on that shit. Look it up. I'm trying to free you. I'm trying to free you. We got books on it. The Power of Zero. It says right here. Did you know that when Social Security was invented, they never intended on paying you? The government was flush for cash. They needed some money. And they were like, how can we get some money? We have all of these citizens and we're already taxing them and we're already doing this and how can we get some more money? Let's tell them that of their paycheck, we're going to put something away for Social Security so that it's a self-funded retirement when they get older. Let's do that. So everybody's like, oh, yay, hoorah, hoorah. Yay, the mighty government is saving us again. They love us so much. We the people. Right? Wrong. Because when they set that age limit during the first Social Security run, they set the age limit at like 60. Here it is. I have it right here. Here is the life expectancy. See, I have it all right here. Okay. So, when it was first implemented, the math behind the Social Security was based on birth rates, you guys, and life expectancies. Okay. That's what they use for insurance, actuaries also. Behind it, and based on life insurance and the life expectancies, and it ensured its financial viability into perpetuity. There were an astounding 42 workers putting money into Social Security for every one person taking it out when it started in 1935. So just think about 42 people add $100, but only one person needs that $100 back. So that means they just got $4,100 again, and for years and years and years, times a million, right? Into Social Security for every one person that took money out. Ironically, the official retirement age at the time was 65. Did you ever wonder why they made it 65? Which I consequently think is the age cutoff for, I mean, if you could draw your Social Security, you don't need to be telling me everything to do for the country. Because chances are you might be set and jailed and antiquated in your ways and unwilling to yield to a newer perspective when the time comes, okay? So not only if one of your balls touches the water can you no longer serve in our government, but also if you can draw your Social Security, which they set up to be at age 65. So let's go by their rule. New rule. The program's administrators didn't even anticipate that the average American would live long enough to draw on Social Security. So listen to this shit. In 1935, President Roosevelt came up with his administration to get a money grab from the people because they needed some money. They were flush. They needed money. So they came up with this thing called Social Security and came up with an age that they're like, okay, you pay into it and we'll gladly pay you into perpetuity once you get to 65. They made the age 65 knowing that most people in that time only lived to 60. They never had an intention of people using this shit, y'all. They never had the intention of it. No wonder it's always under constant attack whenever an election comes up. First thing they're talking about is privatize Social Security. Oh, do this to Social Security. Oh, do that. Because they wasn't supposed to ever have to pay the shit out. But then people started living longer, getting healthier, and now all they can do is push the age back and give us the option to take lower money if we take it out sooner. But all of this having to pay people that age out at 65 until and then they weren't planning on living long either. So the program's administrators didn't even anticipate the average American would live long enough to ever draw Social Security. If you did make it to 65, you drew it for only a few years until you died. So they were like, okay, we're going to put the age limit at 65, knowing that most people only live, we'll give it to 63. And then if the person does live to 65, based off of life expectancy during that time period, and I wonder what could influence that. Chemtrails, contents of food, living conditions, lead in the paint. I'm not sure. We could assess. But even if you did make it to 65, they were like, well, we only gonna have to pay them for a couple of years because they were supposed to be gone at 63. So if they were a fluke and made it to 65, then chances are we're only gonna have to pay them tops till 70. Maybe till 70. So that's just 5 years of paying you back your $100. We can live with that because we still have all the 4,100 other people's, all of their money that we never had to pay out because they did not live to 65, which we knew they wouldn't. Says it right there. This is page 3. By page 3, they call this the power of zero because it's zero tax when they pass their money down to create generational wealth for their families, okay? And you can create generational wealth for your family too with the same power of zero. Zero tax. You can self-fund your own retirement and pay yourself with zero tax distribution. So that even if they do tax your Social Security to 80%, you just got all untaxed 100,000K when you're in your golden years. And then this whole thing about golden years. That was just so they could get more Social Security. It's another, what's it called? Fluke? No, not a fluke. Oxymoron. No, I forget the word right now. But like it's just a word. It's like Corinthian leather. It's just like marketing. Okay, that's what it is. It's marketing. That's all it is. Marketing. Golden years. They never anticipated anybody would live past 65. Do you really think there's such a fucking thing in their book as golden years? No, that's what they had to start calling it when people started living past 65. When people started living past 65 and using all their Social Security money and needing that, they started saying, oh, you need to put something away for your golden years. That's what they started saying, because their money was getting run into, because they made it in a way where the house always wins. That's where they get that saying from. The house always wins. President Roosevelt set up the Social Security thing, knowing people didn't live to 65, made the age 65 in an effort to steal all that money. It was a money grab. And there's no place on a job application to this day where you can opt out of Social fucking Security. It's still a money grab. Because now they pay it to you, but they get it back in taxing at 80%. 80% when you're in your 80s, 60s, 70s. You're going to be paying taxes on 80% of your Social Security if you have other forms of income that are also taxable. From your Roths, from your IRAs, from your annuities, from your retirement pension plans and things like that, your 401k draws, because you're going to have a required minimum distribution annually for your 401ks. And that's on page 2. I told you on page 3, we're talking about what they did to the thing. But on page 2, 401ks are also, they're going to be coming for that money. They're like, oh, defer it, defer it, defer it. Isn't that great? You didn't have to pay taxes on that $300 you made this week. Oh my God. So you can pay 2 times the tax later. It's like, you know how they have that saying, if it's free, you must be dumb or something, because nothing comes for free or something like that. You really have to just like, customer service is out the window, right? So when was the last time customers mattered and they were really doing something for us that was just out of the goodness of their heart? You really you don't have to think long and hard about it. You could just look like, just yesterday, what did a corporation or something do to help people? They don't usually, right? So if they're giving you money at work, if they're giving you and matching a contribution and all that stuff, is it really out of the goodness of their heart, or is it because there's a huger plan that with a little research, you would find out you're being used, and that you could use your money the way that they use their money? Because heck of rich people are not using their 401k. They're not putting shit in 401k. Well, they will for a little while because it's called diversification, but they're only matching what their employer's putting in there or their company or whatever. But that's not what their plan is, because that gets taxed. So that's money taken away, right? So there's good debt that can help you get richer also. So yeah, and then the IRAs, they're low-hanging fruit waiting to be picked by Uncle Sam. 401ks and IRAs are low-hanging fruit that are waiting to be picked by Uncle Sam. Follow the steps in this book and you'll keep your hard-earned retirement savings out of Uncle Sam's reach. I love tax-free, and you will too. Tax-free is always better. Pay less and keep more. The power of zero. Regular schmegular people, every year they be getting tax bills, getting taxed. How many can a dollar get taxed? That's a new thing. That's another thing that should be looked at. That's another thing. You got sales tax, income tax, federal tax, state tax, local tax, candy tax, sugar tax, can tax, plastic tax, air tax, electricity tax, service fee tax. There's only 100 cents in a motherfucking dollar, and there's 120 tax. This is the only place there should be 120 freaking tax. In my tax jar. And leave my dollars alone. That's the only place I want to see 100 tax. All these tax. But you can have power zero. At least on one of the tax. On the most important one. The one that passes in millions. Tax free. Can you imagine if all the lottery people got to keep all that millions and millions tax free? They would got all their money, right? Think about it. Think about it. If you won the lottery and didn't have to pay tax on it, because that's just another, they give you a little and take it right back. Give you a little and take it right back. You know what I mean? That's too many tax. That is too many tax on my motherfucking dollar. Okay? I'm serious. I'm serious. This is induced economic stress. This is induced economic stress by the same people who on page XIII of the book let you know that taxes are only going to go up. There's never a more effective time to leverage your current tax situation, because you know the big change is coming December 31st, 2025, you guys. That's not just what's happening in Project 2025, but those tax relief things are set to expire in 2025. So if you are going to participate in the shits, then you might want to do it before they start affecting all the shits also. Because at this point, there's a power of zero going on that they are using that you have access to. And did you know it has nothing to do with your credit? When you go get these kinds of life insurance policies, they have little to do with your credit. Because credit is the great neutralizer in a lot of things for some people. And for some other people. It's the equalizer for a lot of things. You know, other countries don't even have a fucking credit thing. You go to other countries, you want to rent an apartment, they say you got a money. You say, yeah. They say, you got a job? They say, yeah. They say, okay, here are the keys. There's no credit check. There's no history, nothing. Over here, it's all this induced like checks and balances in an effort. And those checks and balances are literally for you-know-who's. They happen to get caught up, but it's for you-know-who's. So I didn't sleep great last night, but we already knew that because I told you guys, whenever I curl my hair, like, how can you lay on this? And they're curled to the tip. So when you lay on them, it pulls tight. So I don't even know how I slept last night, except for on my face, which is why I was puffy. But and especially during WARE time. especially during that time. You know, they're really going to try to stick it to you bad now, right? Yeah. So Social Security was never intended to be a retirement program. They sold it as a retirement program, but it was never intended to be a retirement program, right? Because they didn't even think you were going to live to that age. It was never intended for what it's being used for now. And now people, once they get it, are living to like they're 96 and shit. They would, if you stop working at 65 and live to 96, that's 30 years you drew. As long as you worked, you drew. It was merely insurance against living too long. And that's a big fear people should have, is outliving their money. Not just outliving your kids, right? But outliving your money.
You know, I think for me personally, it wouldn't matter if Biden was, and I don't want to say anything bad about him, if Biden was in a medically induced coma, I would still vote for him over Trump because Biden would have more brain cells.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and that's a big narrative too. Yeah. So that's why they're always coming for Social Security. That's the real reason. But also, they use the Social Security and put it in accounts too. So, and then we use the compounding effect also. That's a really good thing to do. So we're talking about that. Let's see. Let's see these comments. All profit for them to pass down. They say Generation X and other generations are passing down trillions. That's where we left off. So this is about 300 years of stolen wages and stolen free labor. So they did 450 years prior to this is stolen labor, because this says that they thought up Social Security, which also they didn't let Black people participate in Social Security at all. They left us out of that because it wasn't available for menial jobs. So like if you were a maid, if you were a cook, if you were a shoe shiner, if you were an elevator person, any type of menial labor, they did not include in the Social Security income thing for you to be able to even get that little shit. Did you know that? Well, you should have. It's America, and everything road. All the roads lead back to racism. In that case, everything in Bravo leads back to Nene, and all the other roads lead back to racism. So that was also part of it. Social Security was not supposed to be given to the Negroes or to the indigenous. No, 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 no. And how they made that happen was that they let it be known, and I figured out how they let it be known. I think it's at the church. They let it be known that yeah, you can't hire for the jobs that are going to pay Social Security because yeah, we're not going to do it. Yeah. So there's that. And then and that's after 450 years of stolen labor, stolen free labor with promises. Did you know that the USA broke all their treaties with the indigenous people? They have not upheld one treaty, not one. Not one treaty have they ever kept, you guys. That's who you're dealing with. That's who you're dealing with. They never kept a treaty, stole 450 years of free labor from some people, promised them 40 acres and a mule and broke that promise too. gave free land to everybody, called out to European countries. There's free land over here and you can get work. And immediately came, yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then, starting in 1935, because by that time we was free. Well, the ones that knew they was free, the ones in that movie Alice didn't know they was free, and they were still in the backwoods of something, and they had it all still like it was a full-on plantation. And I'm pretty sure the governor of that state knew about that shit, and they was letting that shit go on with a whole plantation in the middle of some place. It's a true story. It's called Alice. Keke Palmer played Alice in that movie. She went black and did a Django on that motherfucker. It was so good. I need to go watch that. I love movies like that. Ooh, I love when they come back and burn that shit down. I love it. It's sick. It says, then Trump sent an email saying all hell breaks loose in 1 hour before it happened. No, I didn't know. But I believe it. I believe it. I even thought that him talking like that, the way that he was positioning his body, and he was looking at this way, and then he looked that way for a little longer, and then he looked back, and then he did that. Why are you looking over there so much, Trumpy? Was that the signal? I'm going to look twice. Was that the signal? And there's another email. What they're going to say about this email when it gets to court. If it goes to court, because court isn't any good for white people. It's no good for white people. It's not for them. The system of justice is just us. Okay? That's the people who get caught up in that shit. Okay? Is the just us's of certain races, not the justice that is served to whites. Yes. Yes. You catch a white criminal doing some shit and you're wasting the justice's time. You're wasting taxpayers' dollar. You make a black man guilty of some shit and send him to jail for a crime he didn't commit. He'll find out he didn't commit it, and they still will keep his ass in jail, y'all. So the system of justice is not for everybody. Yeah. And there are constant reminders of this. And that was one of them. I mean, somebody with 34 felony indictment charges or whatever it is. Yeah, let Barack have one. If Barack would have had one indictment, never would have happened. But then they're going to glorify a known graper who grabs pussies and sympathizes with freaking Putin and Kim Jong-un. Loves them. They're great men. That's what he says all the time about them. He's like, ooh, I'd love to fondle their balls. Oh my gosh, their balls are probably so hairy. But he's great. He's the best thing since sliced diabetes. Bread. White bread, specifically. He's the best thing since that. He only has 34 things. And that's just because they were abusing the judicial system. I mean, there were so many real crimes going on, so many real criminals. I mean, this guy's only running to run the free world. I mean, we don't need to worry about any of his crimes. I mean, he's nobody compared to the real criminals on the street. It's what we're dealing with. Miss Dugan, hi, beautiful. How are you? Love you. Tired of this ish? Yes, it's a corrupt system still, right? There's no credit check in other countries when renting an apartment. No 3 times. Well, they just made a rule here On July 1st, finally 2024, nationwide ban on anything beyond 1 times the rent. Now the rents are 3 times what they used to be, so they're still getting what the fuck they want. But at least it won't be a disqualifier anymore. And if you can make, then what they should have done also is taking out the rule where you need to make 3 times the rent. That's the other thing. So not only coming up with 3 times the security deposit, but also the requirement to make 3 times the rent when the rent is $3,000 for a 1 bedroom. Oh, look, Zion. Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, Grand Rising, Corey, did you see Prosperity finally came out yesterday? She had actually texted me back. And after that text, because, Piki was like, well, send her a text. And I was like, I'll text it to her. I won't put it on her page. I'll text it. So I texted her that she needs to call. Brendan was very worried. That's what I said. I said specifically, you need to call. Brendan's very worried. That's what I put in the text to her. And she was like, okay. And then she went live. So I hope you guys got to see it. America is evil. Yep. At first, I didn't think the live was still going. They're users and abusers. Hey, Siska. Yes, believe it was in Texas. The reason they want to celebrate Juneteenth. To get grazed. Yeah, and then they're like, it wasn't even grazed. Didn't they say nothing hit him? That it was like the teleprompter broke and it was a piece of glass in his ear. So while he was down on the ground, they had to get the syrup and stuff because let me get my shoe. Wait. Let me get my shoe. Let me get my shoe. And then he did a fist pump, a black fist pump. Was that a black job getting pow-powed? Is that why he got up and did a black fist pump? Was that a black job? Was he reaching out to his brethren? And then he said, fight. So now we have an email that said it's all going to change in an hour. What did the email say? All hell breaks loose in an hour. So we have an email prior to the event from Trump that says all hell breaks loose in an hour. Then we have the people, the witnesses, firsthand account at the time, who said they got the police's attention as well as Secret Service's attention for 2 to 3 minutes, alerting them that they saw old dude with a pow-pow in a prime position on a roof, just hanging out. And they got the attention of authorities and Secret Service. So they have an email. All hell's going to break loose. They have a dude with a pow-pow in a prime position. They've alerted the authorities. They've alerted the Secret Service. And then they let it happen, and he was only grazed. And then he fell so hard, he needs his shoe. And why were the people on him so much after there was no shots? Why weren't the people on him when there were shots? Did you see how he was just ass out by himself up there the whole time before everything was over? Maybe one of those guys' watches what made his ear bleed. Who knows? Who knows? He did this so they would know where to put the high fructose corn syrup with red gel. Then he says, after he's almost unalived, then he says, wait. Let me get my shoe. He doesn't want to go to the doctor. He doesn't want to get the hell out of there. he has enough foresight to say, wait, let me get my shoe. And then he's still okay enough to do a fist pump and then say, fight. I'd say those are 10 reasons to call bullshit. 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 What's that nice bullshit? I don't know. I spend a lot of time on level 8. Y'all already know that. And these are all just opinions and allegedly in my opinion, and nothing I say here right now is meant to say anything bad or wish any harm on anybody who's a known graper or who goes around grabbing twats and has 34 counts of anything. I'm not saying that anything should happen to people like that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when there's 10 things that stand out that to anybody that ever watched a CSI, that's what I'm saying. Grazed him, and it was a setup so he could evoke the rate and what had happened in him, his attempt deletion in the 80s. Orange was trying to look presidential, yep. And Trump is free playing golf badly. It sounds believable, but I cannot believe they would find someone to do it. Tell them just to raise him and then unalive someone in the audience. Yeah, well, I mean, look at what happened on October 7th. On October 7th, they said one thing happened, and we're finding out now that that's not what the fuck happened. And it's like a whole, year later or some shit? It's about to be a year later. And that's not anything that what happened was the thing that they got told happened. There ended up being a lot of friendly fire on the day that it happened. So could friendly fire have happened yesterday? Seems like certain people don't really give a fuck about certain people at all. Those people that follow him would do it. They are insane. Just trying to get situated, thinking about it, caught the replay. Oh, last night, yeah. Didn't get to check out Stephanie Perry, just found her channel. But this would be good for you to help you plan. Right on, Stephanie Perry. I'm going to look her up right now. Stephanie Perry. And she does house sitting school. Well, I found a Stephanie Perry. Maybe it's who you're talking about. Let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and follow her. She kind of looks like Wanda Sykes. Is that who you're talking about? I watch the Midas Touch channel for my politics. Oh, look, Norma's in the house. Norma, girl, what's going on? Long time no see, hear from. So glad you could pop in. Everybody, we have a bona fide starlet in the house, Norma Maldonado. Check her IMBD, please. Check her IMBD. If I have a mod that can drop Norma Maldondo's IMBD in the chat so that it can get checked out. We love Norma. We love her. We love her. Yes, my Latin sister. Yes. Thanks for coming through. First thing he said to the public was fight. Exactly. I'm like, he's doing January 6th type shit right now with that fight, and ketchup all over his face. Last time there was a guillotine. My coffee's almost gone, y'all. He got plenty of shoes. I can't with this lunatic, right? Like he needed that particular shoe. Is that because it was the one that vibrated and let him know now is the time to put the ketchup on? And he needed it, and he knew if somebody found the shoe, they were going to find the little buzzards that alerted him that now is the time to double turn and grab your ear? Is that what it? I don't know. I cannot believe it was planned, though. They are diabolical, though. Yeah, look, and hey, look, in America, they injected black men with syphilis and pretended it was something else, and then watched for years, the effects of undoctored syphilis in their community, watched them go blind, give it to their wives, to see what would happen to their kids. The Tuskegee experiment is what they did to people. But we don't believe that they would do this. After something like that has been done to your people, you would believe they would make us some shit like this. At least that's why I would believe it. If you're willing to take innocent men and lie to them and get them to put something in their body that you told them as a doctor was good for them, knowing it was a disease, a transmutable disease, infectious, highly contagious, had everybody at the court in the 1700s with their noses off because of fucking syphilis holes in their face. Gaping hole looked like they were using bath salts from the syphilis virus eating at their skin, and injected that knowing into people with black skin. And then we got a fucking thing, and instead of help those motherfuckers, they were like, but you don't believe that they would do this? And that's what they want, is for people to not believe that shit. Oh my God, they would never. Oh my God, what do you mean? They made Social Security and then made it an age that they didn't even think we were going to live to? LRGA, you're fucking lying. How dare you say that, LRGA? Facts on 10/7. Yep, it was 10/7. Hey, Norma. Sacrificial lamb. Found her. It's been a long time, right? No worries, Norma. Any freaking time. There's her IMBD. Everybody go through and smash it, because as it turns out, when starlets such as Norma get action on their IMBD, I guess there's some kind of rhythm or something that lets the casting department know that, hey, people are interested in what Norma's offering and have been looking her up. So the more that we look at Norma's thing, hopefully the more things we'll see her in, and she's so good. Norma Maldonado. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, they're completely fucking evil. In Puerto Rico, they sterilized women for decades. Okay, so I was telling the story the other day. My mom wanted 12 kids. My mom got 2 daughters. My mom had a whole hysterectomy at the age of 20 fucking 3. 23. No, 24. 24. She was 24. And the doctor told her she had a fibroid. And they were going to take the fibroid out. After hearing my mom be so grateful when my sister was born, that she was like, well, this is 2 of 12. She wanted 12 kids. Oh, this is 2 of 12. Somebody must have put that shit in her chart. They were like, you got fibroids. We're going to take the fibroids out. She woke up without her fucking uterus, you guys. They eugenics my mom. took her entire uterus out of her body because they overheard her say she wanted 12 kids. That's what I feel. That's why I feel the reason they did it was because they heard her mention that she wanted 10 more of us. And they were like, oh, what can we use? What can we use? She has a fibroid. Yeah, let's get her in the thing. Tell her we're going to take her fibroid out and then sterilize her. Yes. Yes. John Hopkins would snatch Black people off the streets and experiment, allegedly. I know, mademoiselle, he is, but he would do anything to become a dictator. No, you're totally welcome any freaking time. I love you. Yes, they did that in Tuskegee too. Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting in much past these diabolical twats. They're diabolical. They are diabolical. Look, these bangs are giving mama a freaking heat flash. Ooh, triggered a heat flash. Now I'm supposed to be sitting under the freaking dryer because these have been in all night. But just to make sure they're dry, I still have to sit under. I'm still gonna have to sit under this. And it's only gonna be how many degrees today? Let's see. Let's see. So, and then California, it was 100 in Satan's butt yesterday, and today it's only going to be 96. So, yeah, if I'm gonna have to put this on, I may as well get started sooner than later. Because talk about triggering a heat flash, Lord have mercy. Yeah, so I have to sit under this for at least an hour, even though I let them like air dry last night. When I do take them out, I was gonna go live again on TikTok. Check me out at the LRGA Curves or something. I don't know. I have to figure out which one because they shut down one and I had to start another one. And I finally got to go. I did my premiere live on TikTok yesterday and I did a tutorial on how to retwist and rod curl your locks. And so each of these curls is one lock, you guys. Each curl is one lock. So that's how many locks I have. There should be, last time I counted my locks, there was 110, 55 on each side about. 55 on this side, 55 on that side. It looks like more, huh? 55 doesn't seem like a lot. Doesn't seem like a lot in the scheme of things. Oh, and I was telling you guys I was doing this Illuminati diamond dust eye thing because my eyes were still puffy from when my bird died and I had been crying about it. I was like, okay, what's it say? Something smells bad about this, and I'm not talking about 45's diapers. Too many holes in the story, and I'm not talking about 45's head. You're hilarious. She's on a roll. That's hilarious. I don't know, but I believe they are capable. Oh, wow. I remember those. That is hilarious. I can't wait to see the end result of your. Oh, it's going to be so lovely. And then I'm going to hurry up and take a picture. Yes, rest in power, Neon. He's everywhere now. Well, she was a she. She's everywhere now, and she's flying free. She's with my dad, and my dad was always making fun of the birds. You guys, every time I would talk, the birds would talk. So, like, even when we used to go live here on LRGA Curves, in past recordings, you can hear her just chatting it up because if I said something, she was saying something. She was like, "Oh, you talking to me? Yeah, well, let's talk about it then." So yeah, so there will be no more back churter, but I really do want some more birds. The birds were more mine, like that's my thing is birds. And I speak bird and everything. Oh wait, sorry, my battery's dying. I'm gonna need to get it charged. But I was talking about the birds. So yeah, so Neon, I want another one. Bless her heart. I love her. She's with my dad. He used to make fun of her a lot. He used to be like, I'm gonna fry them parakeets up. I bet they taste good fried. To get at me because, yeah, my dad was funny. It was funny. Oh my gosh, be more shorties in the house. Right on. Let me get this charger. So what else is going on now that most of us don't believe? Hey, Michelle, most of us don't believe what happened with the thingamabob last night, yesterday. Here, let me do it like this. I have to take this cover off. Sorry, you guys. Ooh, this iPhone is getting so hot. They said that might be a sign that I have malware on my phone or something. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. I can feel your energy from 2 planets away. I got my drink, I got my say. I said, bitch, don't kill my vibe. Bitch, don't kill my vibe. See, I like more songs of Kendrick Lamar besides They Not Like Us. Yeah, Neon, rest her heart. She was such an addition to the family. Now, see, now that's weird though. I have to put it down here because in the stand, there. Am I too close to you guys now? I feel a little close. Or was it over like that? I don't know. Because if I put it back like that and just let it catch a charge, let's just let it catch a charge. It's already back to 12%. There we go. I think that'll do it. There. Okay. So we're charging. I'm good. Awesome. My dad said his TV wasn't working. It just needed to be updated. Older people and new devices. Yes. Krista, do you believe what happened yesterday, Krista? We were just in here talking about. That's suspicious. That's weird. Yes. Appreciate you guys. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So do you believe it, Krista? We don't. So far, we have some people that can't believe that it would be fake, and we have others that will never believe that was real. And now there's talk. Krista, did you, Dina, what's good? Did you hear, Michelle? I appreciate you for coming through. If I didn't already say it, thank you. Be more shorties in the house. Did I miss anybody? No, I think that's it. Oh, what's weird? You do believe it. Okay. Not fake. Okay, so even if you found out that there is an email Trump sent right before that said all hell's gonna break loose in an hour. Yeah. So because of the email especially, and because the witnesses said they told the Secret Service and the authorities that there was a man with a pow pow on a roof for 2 to 3 minutes before anything happened. And they didn't do anything about it. They were looking at him and didn't do nothing. And there was an email that said something's going to happen in an hour. And then instead of rush his way away because, oh my gosh, he's like, let me get my shoe. Fight, fight, fight. Hey, I get it. I get it. That's really believable. When I say it that slow, it's almost believable. Maybe it is how I say it. Maybe if I say, oh my God, he sent this email that said something's going to happen in an hour. And then they were telling him that they were there. They saw him there. And then it happened. And then he said, fight, fight, fight. Oh my gosh. Poor thing. I can't. I caught your animal antibacterial review. I'm a kid. Oh, she does animal antibacterial reviews? I'm going to have to check that out because I got these dogs. A woman, it was unalived. Yeah, so were people on October 7th. So were people during the Tuskegee experiment when they injected humans with syphilis and pretended that it was nothing. And they let them die and spread it to their wives and let children be born with that shit. Yeah, so was that when they when they did the Trail of Tears and forced indigenous people off of their land that they colonized, and then they herded them to land that they felt was uninhabitable but ended up being mineral rich. So then they needed to do another thing where they needed to come up with $5 Indians to steal back the land from the Indians that they had already stole the land from and then relegated them to, and so that they could get their mineral rights because of the $5 Indian rule and everything. But oh no, they would never. I'm just not sure. He's a hoot and a holler. Hee hee. At first, I said not fake. But the more that is coming out, the more I believe it was fake. The email, him and his damn emails, because the January 6th thing also, there was emails, texts, and phone records. Emails, texts, and phone records. Receipts, proof, timeline. Okay? It's enough to get a bitch kicked off a reality show. Okay? So now that you have all of this stuff, it's just not adding up. I mean, I'm gonna need 1 and 1 to equal 2 if that's the math we're doing today. If we're on some Terrence Howard shit, just let me know. If you're finally prepared to let my 1 times 1 equal what at least 1 plus 1 equals, then we can fucking talk, okay? But right now, the way things stand right now, it's just not mathing. It's just not mathing. I mean, no matter how hard I look, Your Honor, when I take the root cause of 45 and a ricochet off an earlobe and a man on a roof, and then the thing is still a big question mark. Because the math ain't mathing. But then again, all things lead back to racism in America. So we could say that the reason when the WP people told the police and the Secret Service that there was a man up on yonder with a pow pow, because the man was obviously, or should I say, with no blue lines, they did not fear for their life. They were not in fear. They did not see a threat. There was nothing to see there. There is nothing, there is no threat. There is nothing to see here. We do not fear for our lives. It is one of us with a pow pow on a roof. Maybe we can go talk to him. Maybe he would like some beer and a coffee. He is not a threat. He is not a threat. He is not a threat. You're going to need to add more melanin to him for him to be a threat to us. I'm still scanning the area for a melanin person with a pow pow. That's the real threat. If I think they have a pow pow, it'll be equally as threatening. But to see a whole WP man on a rooftop with a pow pow, that is not a threat. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Oh, he's a threat. Oh my. Oh my. We already know if he was another color with the pow pow up on the roof, he would have got to the roof. The people that saw him go on the roof probably would have did some shit to him if he was not WP. They would have decided a citizen's arrest needed to be in order. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's a black person with a pow pow. Oh my God. Everybody, let's rally together and go get him. That's what would have happened. But because he was not a threat. He was not a threat. Okay. Yeah, no, nobody really knows, Krista. This is way too much on yesterday. Yeah, some online psychics have predicted that the truth about 45 will be revealed that will turn even his followers against them. Hey, what's that psychic's name and number? I want to go rewatch so I can look for the signs because I'm waiting for that day. I'm like, there has to be like a breaking point, something in him. His siren spells are going to have to end soon because that's what I feel like when he says, because when he's up there and people pretend like he just made a whole sentence on a subject, I'm like, you were listening, right? He didn't say nothing. He just like, he does word salad all day. And it's a very mixed salad. It's the kind of salad that's all iceberg lettuce, purple cabbage, and shredded carrots. He's a cheap salad, cheap tossed salad. Word salad is what he's given. And people are just gobbling up that cheap tossed word salad like it's freaking Shakespeare. Who I've been doing some research, and it might have been a black girl that was writing all the stuff, and Shakespeare put his name on it because black people weren't supposed to be writing or some bullshit like that. When I get on level 8 and find that door again and finish the research on there, I'll let you know. But yeah. So I just don't understand. And then it happening in Philadelphia also. So that's the land that's where the Liberty Bell is, right? And so that has its own energy thing going on with civilization and civil wars and who's in charge of what, right? So, and then for anybody, I see your comment, Krista. Well, about Biden allegedly saying put him in a bullseye. Well, about Trump having an email that says everything's going to pop off in an hour. Maybe he heard Biden say that. And because he heard Biden say that, who I don't know why anybody's paying attention to what Biden said. He called the Ukraine Putin. He called Kamala Trump. And he said he smashed Melania all in the same 24 hours. But now we're going to be like, oh, he said use a bullseye or a target. And we're supposed to like take that one sentence as, oh, he can finish a sentence and he knew what he was talking about all of a sudden. Is that what we're doing? But Trump isn't responsible for anything he said on the 6th. But Biden's responsible for saying a bullseye, for using the word bullseye. And there was no bullseyes on him. Obviously, the guy missed. There was never even a bullseye on him. But it's Biden or Obama that did this. The man, they had a guillotine. And he directed those people to go over there and take what's theirs. Let's go get this vote. Isn't that the shit that he was saying on the 6th? Like, that's explicit directions. Biden saying a bullseye, that's not explicit directions. That sounds like it could even be a fashion statement. Aren't bullseyes red? Aren't Republicans red? He was helping them with branding. Isn't that how it goes? So he can say he'll grab women's pussies and that black people are this and that Mexicans are that and that there's black jobs and Latino jobs and the immigrants are he can say all of that. And it's just when the more and more oppression and crimes are happening to those specific people because of his dog whistle words and tactics against those specific groups. And there's nothing to see here, but Biden says bullseye. And now Democrats and Biden are responsible for him putting tomato ketchup, Cujo syrup on his ear and kneading his shoe and then saying, fight, fight, fight. I can't. Did you guys know that Fox was bought by Disney. Isn't that interesting? Not set up. I'm saying, you're saying fake, not set up. I'm saying both. I'm saying fake, set up, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm saying fake. Nope, I'm saying fake. I'm saying Wag the dog. I keep asking you guys, go check it out. Google it right now. Wag the dog. There'll be, to keep a person's power or perceived power, there will be sound stages involved. This is the least of some shit they would do to keep a person in power or to get some power that they want. And somebody needs to check these deceased people's loved ones' bank accounts. That's how deep this shit could go, you guys. That's how deep the shit could go with the setup, fake planning about this. Why would he have an email that says it's going to be hell in an hour? And then an hour later, he has ketchup on his ear. And they ignored that man for 3 minutes. But I don't have the right to feel like it's fake. I don't have the right of observation to question this. I don't get the intellectual right to question what you're trying to feed me. I don't get to look at it from every angle. Look, remember when Rodney King got his ass whooped? Look at this shit. Remember when Rodney King got his ass kicked and the riots kicked off in the 80s because the police whooped that man unconscious? They beat him so bad, he looked like he grew another motherfucking head. He looked like he had two of everything. You know, in that movie Pitch Black? No, is it Pitch Black with Vin Diesel? And then the Necromongers came and he had three-faced helmet, remember? That's what the Rodney King's face looked like after the police whooped his ass so bad. It looked like that had three faces. Two of everything. Because they've split shit open so bad and doubled it so bad on that man's face. We saw what happened on that video. We saw with our own eyes what happened on that video. The man was passed out and unable to resist for most of the beating, but they convinced the world that he was resisting arrest. They put it into the minds of many people that that man was resisting arrest while he was passed out getting his ass stomped. Did you know that when your body gets kicked, you'll move? Whether you're conscious or not? If you get hit with billy clubs and you're being kicked and punched, your body's going to move. And they called it resisting arrest, you guys. Told us not to believe our eyes. Only believe what they're saying. And now they're telling us to not believe our eyes again and only believe what they're saying. I stopped believing them that time. That's when I stopped. I was a young child then. I was young and impressionable. And I thought there was something so wrong with them telling me that he was resisting arrest when I could clearly see that he wasn't resisting anything. And they wanted me to buy that he was resisting arrest. They wanted me to not believe my beautiful eyes. Well, I'm believing my eyes this time. And so far, none of this shit is adding up. She seems to be moving around, treated her this morning, clearly still in pain. She's a street cat. Uh-oh. She likes to be on the move. She sleeps and eats here. Oh, it's cute. Please take heed. There was a white buffalo born. Yes, I saw about that. And that means we have to need to get our ish together before the creator comes and correct us for it. Yep. Intelligence has shown that the attack on October 7th was known a year in advance. Smoogle Google it. Yes, that's what I'm saying. It didn't start on the 7th of October. People always want to want to just look at that and be like, oh, that's what, no, you got to go back to where it really started. And if you had intelligence for a year, that means it didn't start on the 7th. If you had 2 to 3 minutes of looking at a white man on a roof with a pow pow pointed towards the person you're supposed to be protecting, and you did nothing for 2 to 3 minutes, there has to be a reason. Maybe your directions were to do nothing, which would make it fake. Yes, it would make it fake. And I don't know why there has to be a difference between fake and setup. Here, I'll Google it right here. Let's do our etymology. I love it, Krista. Let's go, girl. I love Krista. You guys, Krista Marie has a channel in these YouTube streets. Make sure you go through and smash her buttons. So I'm going to Google fake. Definition: not genuine, counterfeit, a thing that is not genuine, a forgery, a sham, forge, counterfeit something. This is fake. Pretend, to feel or suffer from, emotional or illness, to make an event appear to happen. These are all words for fake. So I can say fake, Krista. I can clearly say fake based off of an email saying some shit's gonna pop off in an hour, and then doing nothing with the person, him needing a shoe and not medical care, and then him doing a fist pump talking about fight, fight, fight. Those things alone. I mean, there was more that I named earlier. There was 10 things that I named that made me say fake. But just those 5 little things right there. How many stocks do I really have in stock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. How many stocks do I really have in stock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. Fake. I said what I'm saying it. It's the real word is fake. I'm not sure why people don't want it to be fake when that's what it is. Forge, counterfeit, to pretend or feel or suffer from an illness, to make an event appear to happen means fake. Its origin is German, Fagen, sweet thrash is how it started. And then in the 18th century, it turned to fake. Nautical, noun, fakes, fakes. Flake is a variant spelling. A person or persons, fakes, faking, faked. A single turn from a coiled rope or hawser for the nautical term of fake. A single turn, well, he did a double turn right before it happened. And they've been using it since the 17th century as a noun. Not true, real, or genuine. Counterfeit, sham. He was wearing a fake mustache. He had on a fake toupee. He had a fake orange tan. He had fake ketchup on his ear. It was a fake, fakety, faked appearance looking thing. Now let's look up setup. Because I think it might be both. I think we're both right because there's enough room on right for everybody. That's what I believe in my universe. Is there's enough room on right for everybody. I'm not even arguing with you. I'm right saying fake, and you're right saying setup. Let's look up setup. Meaning to place or erect something in position. He was sure placed up there in a position, wasn't he? Establish a business or institution. Claim to be or act like a specified kind of person. Used to indicate skepticism as someone's right or ability to do so. Arrange a meeting between a person and another person. Make innocent person appear guilty in something. Begin making a loud sound. Restore health of someone. Now, in the slang term, setup is often passive and informal to mean to trick someone in order to make them do something, or in order to make someone seem guilty of something that they may not have done. So we're both right. They claim they weren't selling drugs, but they got set up by the popo. That's the example it gives here. So we're both right. Call it what you want. It's all wrong. Dina, tell a kitty cat no babies in the house. It was staged, right, Krista? It was not fake. So the two people are pow-powed. That part isn't fake. And it was part of the setup to make us believe that he was really pow-powed. So you see how it's all the same? It's all together. It was still fake because he was not the target, allegedly. Facts. I'm not ignoring you. You're saying fake. You asked me if it was a fake. No, you don't think it was fake. You think it was a setup. I get it. I get it. I'm not ignoring you, girl. Agent Orange wanted the attention on himself. Because even the bad publicity that Biden was getting is still good publicity. Everybody who knows about publicity knows that it's all good, and everybody's tongue's been wagging about Sleepy Joe. Nobody was thinking about Trump. He needed some attention. Yes. Yes. That's what your dad said, Krista. I think she understands. Yeah, I was just on a roll. There were protective Secret Service snipers all around, and the pow-pows were allowed. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I was on a soapbox. It was a soapbox. Well, don't ask me that and then twist my answer to fake. No, I'm saying it's fake. I'm not saying you're saying it's fake. Obviously, you're saying it's a setup. I'm the one that's sitting here talking about I thought it was fake. Did I say that Krista thought it was fake? I don't know. You know I'd be talking in 420, girl. I don't know. Right, Norma? Make it make sense. Krista said her POV and would like, oh, I want you guys to come up, but how can I invite you? Let me see. Now, there's a way to invite. I did make it so people could come up, but I have to invite you. Where do I do that? I think I have to, add a guest. It only lets me send a message, a WhatsApp. I can copy the link. Okay, I copied the link. Now, but how do I send it to somebody? Damn it. What's this? No, we don't want that. Damn. I had it set up. Now I have this link to share, but I can't add a comment. I thought I could comment here. Palaver's in the house. I love you too, Krista. Sebastian, I think Project 2025 is a bigger problem than I thought. Okay, I don't know if I'm